Hi, and welcome back. If you've ever said, I understand why I feel this way, but my body should not get the memo, then this video is for you. Because for many people, especially those of us with anxiety or trauma, insight alone does not bring relief. So sad. But that's where the difference between cognitive behavioral therapy and somatic therapy really matters. Today, I want to break down what CBT does well, what somatic therapy does well, and how using them together can be far more effective than either one alone. Hi, if you're new here, I'm Amy Rose White. I'm an integrative psychotherapist and astrologer, and I make YouTube videos about self-healing tools. If you want my 5-minute nervous system reset, please see the link below. So, cognitive behavioral therapy works primarily with thoughts and behaviors. It helps us identify anxious or distorted thinking, meaning thoughts that aren't really true, evaluate thoughts realistically, reduces catastrophic predictions, which our brain likes to do, change behaviors that reinforce anxiety. So CBT is especially effective for generalized anxiety, panic disorder, phobias, OCD, and health anxiety. Cognitive behavioral therapy works because it teaches the brain that thoughts are events, not facts. For many people, this alone creates significant relief. But here's where CBT can sometimes fall short. It struggles when the nervous system is highly dysregulated, which it almost always is if you have a history of stress or trauma. It doesn't work that great when trauma is stored primarily in the body, which is almost always the case, or when emotional responses feel automatic and uncontrollable. So this is where people say, like, I know the thought isn't true, but my body still reacts. And they're not wrong. CBT works top down from the cortex down, but trauma and chronic stress live from the bottom up, basically the brainstem up. So what somatic or body-based therapy does is it works directly with the body and the nervous system first. So instead of asking, what are you thinking? It asks, what are you feeling in your body right now and where? So somatic approaches help complete the stress response, increase our body awareness, restore a sense of safety, reduce disassociation and hyperarousal. So examples might include somatic experiencing therapy, where you learn to move your body in the opposite direction of the collapse, something called sensory motor psychotherapy, trauma-informed yoga, breathwork, or EMDR, where you're moving your eyes or tapping. Somatic work helps the body learn, I'm safe now, and brings us back to the present moment. But where somatic therapy can fall short on its own is that it might not always address persistent worry loops in our minds. It doesn't challenge distorted beliefs. It doesn't change our cognitive habits that maintain our anxiety. So some people may feel calmer initially, but still stuck in anxious thinking. And that's where CBT becomes essential. So CBT asks, what am I telling myself? And somatic therapy asks, what is my body experiencing? CBT targets thought patterns and behaviors. Somatic therapy targets our nervous system regulation and stored stress in the body. Cognitive behavioral therapy works best when you can access thoughts clearly, and somatic therapy works best when words just aren't enough. When we combine CBT and somatic work, we address anxiety from both directions, which is why that's an approach I use all the time, is the combination. CBT helps the mind stop fueling the fire. Somatic therapy helps the body stop bracing for the impact. And together they create a really beautiful integration. So how would you use somatic therapy with CBT practically? One, we want to regulate our bodies before we do cognitive work. If our body is highly activated, CBT will feel impossible. So we want to start with slow breathing, grounding ourselves, and orienting to safety in the body. Then we move into things like thought records. We'd want to track our body sensations during using something like a thought record. And as we challenge the thought, notice what happens in our chest, what happens with the breath in our stomach. This tells you when the body is integrating the new thought or is having a lot of resistance. We can also use the body as feedback. When we're challenging distorted thoughts and we create a balanced thought, but we think it and we have more tension, it's probably not feeling accurate enough yet because the body knows when something lands. So that data is really important information. We can also use somatic therapy to discharge energy after cognitive insight. So after you do your thought distortion work, you might move, stretch, shake, wipe the energy off, yawn, or one of my favorites, lion breath, which is this helps the nervous system complete the shift. We also want to address the belief and the survival response together. So, for example, in CBT, we learn to think, I can handle uncertainty. The somatic piece is letting the body feel uncertainty without collapsing. That's healing. So who benefits most from integrating these two? You'll likely really like the combination and benefit from both if you understand your anxiety, but you still feel stuck, or your body reacts faster than your thoughts. Or maybe you've tried CBT before with very mixed or negative results. You have a trauma history. For sure, you want the combination. That's not failure, it's just biology. And that's why it's wonderful to know and use these things together. So CBT is not wrong, and I wouldn't argue somatic therapy is better. They're just incomplete without each other for many people. Healing happens when the mind and body stop arguing and start communicating. I hope this helped you. Please let me know in the comments below, and I'll see you in the next one. Check out one of these playlists, and I'll see you next time. Bye for now.